Just to start off, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll let Sharon and Viviana tell you a little bit about themselves as well. So I am a graduate of UEWM. I graduated from both the master's and the doctorate program. And so I understand completely from the inside and out what the program is and what you should expect. I'm happy to answer any and all questions regarding the program. And like I said, I'm the Dean of Academics, and I've been working for the school now for 4 or 5 years. And then Sharon, would you go ahead and introduce yourself as well?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Yang Zhou. My English name is Sharon. I have worked at UEWM for 8 years. I received my Western Medicine degree from Southeastern University School of Medicine. I received my Chinese medicine degree from UEWM. I was a physician in a Beijing hospital for 8 years. And now I'm also a licensed acupuncturist, and I'm practicing in UEWM acupuncture clinic as well. And before your application and during your first term study at UEWM, so if you have any questions regarding admission process, admission document, foreign transcript evaluation, and F1 visa, please feel free to contact the admissions office, and we'd like to help you. And I also will be happy to share my experience in studying Chinese medicine and Western medicine with you. So welcome to UEWM. So Viviana.
Hi everyone, my name is Viviana, and I assist Sharon in the admissions office. I'm also a student in the master's program, and I studied anthropology before coming to UEWM, and I was really interested in integrative medicine or alternative medicine or complementary medicine. So I researched different programs and found TCM and how I can be a licensed practitioner after graduation and taking the license exam. So I was very happy to find this school and this program, and it's a very well-rounded curriculum that I love. And we're here to answer any questions that you have, and I will be answering questions in the chat box as well as Sharon and Clark.
Okay, so let me share our presentation now. So go ahead, Clark.
Okay, yeah, so welcome to the Fall 2021 open house for University of East West Medicine. We have been, we were established in 1997, and we've been teaching TCM for more than 20 years now. And like I said, I'm both a graduate of the master's and the doctorate. So we're going to walk you through step by step what you can expect from a career in acupuncture, as well as what you can expect from your education at UEWM. Yeah, so we are recording, so we ask for your privacy that you leave your video off and your microphone off. After we finish the entire presentation, we will open it up for questions, turn off the recording, and allow you to show your face so that we can get to know each other a little bit better. Until then, you can write some questions in the chat box in English or Chinese, and we'll answer them either during the presentation or at the very end. Also, please keep in mind that if you let us know how you found us, where you found us, whether it was through a friend or through Facebook or an advertisement or driving by the school, Please let us know how you found us, and for joining us today. If you apply today, we will waive the $60 application fee. So you have to wait till the very end, though, to be able to get that waiver. So this is a picture of our president, Dr. Tao. He's been working with us now for the past several years and doing a great job. We're very happy to have him with us. He couldn't be here with us today, but he is very available when it comes time to, once you're a student and you need to talk to him, he's very easy to get a hold of. He also has a strong background in technology and has been working with us to upgrade or update our technology so that we are, as many of you are aware, during COVID, we've been teaching completely online, and we're working towards having a hybrid program in the future as well. And as you recognize these two people, Sharon and Viviana, you can contact us anytime at admissions@uewm.edu. They'll be happy to answer any and all admissions questions and help you understand the process as well, even after this presentation. And then this is my team in academics. So basically for your first semester, your primary point of contact is the admissions office. And then once you get past your first semester, then you'll be more in my domain. And like I said, I'm the Dean of Academics, and then you have Jennifer, who is the Associate Dean of MSTCM program, and then we have Michelle Liang, who is the Academic Coordinator. All three of us work together to support you and the faculty throughout the entire program and your educational process for traditional Chinese medicine.
Share the screen.
If you are considering a career in integrative medicine, come to see us at the University of East-West Medicine. The Master of Science in Traditional Chinese Medicine program is a comprehensive program designed to lead students to the level of knowledge and practical skill to become a successful independent healthcare provider. Located in the center of Silicon Valley, the world's leading technology center, the campus has a multicultural and bilingual study atmosphere with classes taught in Chinese and English. Holistic medicine, such as Chinese medicine, is growing in popularity. In fact, many of the leading hospitals in the US now employ full-time acupuncturists. Students will have many opportunities to connect with world-class Chinese medicine experts, not only on campus, but from all over the world.
Not long ago, Rita Levi-Montalcini celebrated her 103rd birthday, and then during
Okay, so that was a short video for those of you who haven't not been to our campus before, giving you a little taste of what the school looks like. One of the things to keep in mind is that we are a standalone building. We do have free parking, free Wi-Fi, and a library, as well as we do have the clinic as along with the classrooms for the instruction and for study areas. There's all kinds of room on the campus for our students. Now, in order to do business and teach traditional Chinese medicine, both in California and for the United States, we have to be accredited and authorized by multiple organizations. And so this is a list of those organizations. We have the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education, better known as the BPPE. And then we have ACOM, or the Accreditation Commission for Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. They're the ones that allow us to teach Chinese medicine for the United States. They oversee all traditional Chinese medicine schools in the United States. And then California Acupuncture Board, they support us, and that'll be the test most likely most of you will be taking for your license exam. And then some of you may go through the Ncc Aom, or the National Certification Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. They're the ones that do the certification process for the most other states besides California. And then we also are authorized to have I-20 visas for international students. And this is a map here. And of course, we have federal financial aid for residents and citizens of the US. And then the next page has the map for the Ncc Aom. This map can be a little bit confusing. What is most important to understand is that you have the orange state, that's where we are, and California is the only state that has their own license exam. Every other state that has a license goes through the Ncc Aom. So you can see some dark and light colored states there. The dark ones are the ones that require certification. Certification would be renewed every 4 years. Licenses and certification are not the same. So licenses are renewed at the state level every 2 years, and each state has a slightly different rules of how many continuing education units you need. In California, we needed 50 hours of continuing education every 2 years, whereas for the Ncc Aom, they require 60 hours every 4 years to maintain your certification. But you can see the lighter states like Texas and Kansas and Florida, they require the examination only. So what that means is that once you've taken the exam for the Ncc Aom, you do not have to maintain your certification. You do not have to continue to give them money every 4 years, but you will have to continue to give the state money every 2 years to renew your license. So that's one thing that all healthcare providers in the United States, whether you're an MD, whether you're a physical therapist, a nurse, massage therapist, or an acupuncturist, we all have to renew our license every 2 years, and we all have to have continuing education. So that's just part of being in healthcare in the United States. You will see that there are 3 states on there, South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Alabama, that are not underneath the Ncc Aom or, of course, the California exam. Those states do not currently have licensure laws, but I do anticipate in the next few years they will start to have laws, and most likely they will fall underneath the Ncc Aom. So if you plan to leave California, then you'll need to take the Ncc Aom exam for your license. Otherwise, California Acupuncture Board is your go-to. So on this page, we have what you can expect to make. And these are somewhat older numbers before COVID. There were almost 40,000 licensed acupuncturists in the US. And we also, overall in the United States, expect to make around $74,000 to $75,000 per year. And if you work for a company like Kaiser Permanente, you can make up to $135,000 per year if you're full-time. And then you can expect to earn around $34, $35 per hour as a licensed acupuncturist working in somebody else's clinic. Of course, most people do go the route of opening their own clinic, becoming their own boss. But if you want to work underneath someone else, these are some ideas of what you can expect to make as an employee, as an acupuncturist. And then there are many, as the years go on, acupuncture becomes much more, the reputation of acupuncture becomes much more understood, and people start to look for it. And now even large organizations like Yale and Stanford and UCSF and UCLA all have teaching clinics or hospitals in their schools, and they do provide acupuncture. So there's many opportunities for acupuncturists in the coming years, especially as our reputation gets stronger and stronger. Okay, so acupuncture, like I was just saying, it is becoming more popular and more well known. Almost half of the adults in the US are using some form of alternative medicine, according to the National Institute of Health. The Affordable Care Act actually made it so that in California, we are able to practice as what is considered a primary care physician or a general practitioner. This means that our patients can come directly to see us without having to go through anyone else. They don't have to go through an MD or be recommended or come to us as a specialist. We can actually be their primary care physician. They can come and get treated for anything they want from us, and we're able to charge insurance and be able to make payments through insurance. So this has really given us a lot of freedom to grow our businesses, and especially in California. Some other states, so that you're aware, do still require acupuncturists to go through an MD. So if you do decide to move out of California, I would definitely research the laws and the regulations for acupuncture in those other states. Now here's an example of what an acupuncture treatment can do, and this is without any herbs, without any massage, without any diet changes. Well, she might have changed her diet a little bit, but only in 2 weeks you can see a difference. Before the first treatment, you can see all the redness. She was very unhappy with her complexion and depressed. And then after the first treatment, she started to clear out the redness and feel a little bit better. After the second week, you could see, after her second treatment, you can see that she's much happier. Her complexion's looking a lot better. And something that doesn't show here in the pictures, as she was coming and getting treated for her complexion, it turned out that she was actually trying to get pregnant and have a baby. Well, since then, after about 6 months of treatment, she got pregnant, carried her baby to full term, and had a healthy baby. So she's even happier these days than you see in the picture. At UEWM, we offer a Master of Science in Traditional Chinese Medicine degree. This is our primary degree that most students come to us for. We do have many other options, though, for people to learn about Chinese medicine. We have non-degree earning opportunities. We have Tai Chi and Baduanjin and Qigong workshops. You can audit classes. We also offer continuing education classes, so that once you do graduate with your master's and you want to maintain your license, you can continue to come to UEWM and get your continuing education every 2 years.
So, Clark, can you talk a little bit about the degree program's name in the future?
Yeah, so beginning of 2023.
In the green, the words in the green.
Yeah, beginning of 2023, the ACOM has changed the degree title because every school and every state had a slightly different name for their degree. Some were Master of Oriental Medicine, some were Master of Science in Traditional Chinese Medicine, or Masters of Traditional Chinese Medicine, or any number of different names that were used by different schools. So in the next year or so, actually, where are we? So a little over a year from now, all schools will be required to use the same title. So the title becoming a Master of Acupuncture with a Chinese Herbal Medicine specialization. So that is something to keep in mind. If you start with UEWM this year, though, you will be under the MSTCM degree program, and that will be the title that you graduate with. If you wait until after January 1st, then you will have a much longer title name, and maybe a little bit more understandable, maybe a little bit more confusing. I'm not quite sure what people think of the new name yet. I'm very happy with my title. I graduated with the MSTCM. So in order to study acupuncture in the United States, this is the same all across the United States. You need to have 2 years of undergrad before you can start. So that means a minimum of 60 semester units or 90 quarter units with a GPA of 2.0. And that allows you to enter into the program. Takes about, well, a minimum of 3 years to 9 semesters, which is 36 months to finish your master's degree. Once you have your master's degree, you're able to apply to take your license. Having the degree does not guarantee you a license. You do need to still pass the license exam, and you do still need to pass the criminal background check. So if you have any questions on either one of those, please let us know. But once you graduate, you take your license exam, you get your license, and then that enables you to work in various different ways as an acupuncturist. You can either open up your own private clinic, your own private practice, and be your own boss, or you can go and work for a hospital or a medical center, or you can teach. So those are your 3 primary ways of turning acupuncture into a profession. And then if you decide that you want to continue on, like I did, you can go on for anywhere from 1 to 2 years to get a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese or Oriental medicine. There are 2 different doctorates. One is a 1-year degree and one's a 2-year degree if you do it full time. Either one of those gives you the doctor title, and because you cannot use a doctor title as a master's, you cannot call yourself, when you're a licensed acupuncturist, if you do not have your doctorate, you cannot call yourself doctor. You cannot advertise yourself as doctor. But once you go and finish your doctorate, that's a whole different story. And you'll also get advanced TCM professor capacities. You'll be able to earn more money as a professor. You'll be able to have obviously more confidence in teaching, and in your TCMs, you can be a specialist, so you can have more confidence in your practice, and you can even go into research if that is something that you're interested in. So those are your 3 primary ways of continuing on as a doctorate. Either way, the first step is to make sure you have your 2 years of undergrad and then get into your master's degree. Your master's degree is basically, it's all the foundational information you need. And if you're like Sharon and me, you'll probably continue studying for the rest of your life. It's just something that, for me, I love the fact that Chinese medicine is so detailed that you can never learn it all. It's not something that you can learn in one lifetime, but it is something that you can enjoy learning for a lifetime. So this is an example of what your curriculum could look like over a 3-year period. This is not what it will look like. This is an example. This is just to give you an idea. Since we are on a rolling tuition, you can enter in any semester, and then the schedule will be different each semester. But in general, if you start off light with around 11 or 12 units, 12 units is considered full-time. Anything below 12 units is considered part-time. So, and also if you study for financial aid reasons, you can not study any less than 6 units per semester if you're on financial aid. That's considered the minimum. Most students will take more than 11 or 12 units. And if you want to finish on a 3-year track, on average, you need to take between 18, 19, or 20 units per semester if you want to include your basic sciences. If you don't need your basic sciences, then you can follow more what you see here. Between 16 or so, I would consider it 16, 17, even 18 some semesters. That's definitely full time. If you're in class 18 units per semester, that means you're in class 18 hours per week. And so if an average class is 3 or 4 hours, that means you're in class 4, possibly 5 days per week. It depends on you how fast you want to go. You can take up to 6 years to finish the program. And if you look at this, you'll see that there's some +1s, +5s, +6, +5. You know, as you go on, those are talking about clinic hours. And so if you have 18 + 1, that's 18 hours in class plus 1 hour or 1 unit of clinic. Clinic units and classroom units are measured slightly differently. Clinic is twice as much as your classroom time. So you will have, you'll understand that more. So basically 1 unit of clinic is actually 30 hours per semester, whereas 5 units is 150 hours. So those are how often you be in the clinic. And then if you look at the very bottom, that's all your basic sciences. So you have psychology, Western medical terminology, biology, anatomy, physiology, chemistry, physics. These are all required to graduate, but if you already have them before you join us, you can transfer those into the program. You do not need to take them again. And we'll go into that more on the next slide. I'll show you a little bit more of what you can expect your program to look like. The next slide I consider the most useful slide for understanding your progress throughout the program. And just to clarify, the total program is 3,090 hours. So on this page, we see some arrows. Yeah, so just to go over a little bit more, we also have 960 clinical hours that this page shows it much more understandably though. So if you follow the arrows, that tells you which classes have prerequisites. So if you look at the top row, you have Acupuncture 1 and Acupuncture 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, if there's an arrow, that means that you must take the class that's before the arrow before you can take the one after the arrow, unless you see a plus sign. So if you see a plus sign, that means that you can take them at the same time if they are offered during that semester. Now, this most likely won't happen within the same language program, but if you're bilingual in Chinese and English, then you could possibly see some semesters where you have the opportunity to take both at one time. I don't necessarily recommend it. It's a lot of information to take on. I think that the 1 acupuncture level per semester is a much more easily remembered pace. Now, if you look on at Acupuncture 3 and 4, there's an arrow that goes both ways. So that means that you could take Acupuncture 4 before Acupuncture 3 if that's what's offered that semester and that's what you're ready for. Go ahead and take it, not a problem. Same thing with 5 and 6. You can take 6 before 5, but you must finish 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you go on to 5 or 6. Okay, and then also 5 and 6 could be taken together if you wanted to, but those are the most difficult levels, and I recommend taking those at the same time, even less than taking the previous levels at the same time. Now, if you look down and you see the next line down, you have foundations, TCM Foundations 1 and TCM Foundation 2. So you follow the arrows and you follow the plus signs. And by the time you get done with diagnosis, you'll see that Acupuncture 4 and Diagnosis 2 have an arrow that is required for you to get into Acupuncture 5. So you do need Diagnosis 2 in order to get Acupuncture 5. And then you also will need Diagnosis 2 and Formulas 2 before you can move into that last box. Those are all your senior level classes. Those are all your advanced classes. That's basically your last year of study if you're going at a full time pace. The next line down, you have your your Western medical sciences. And you can see that human anatomy and human physiology is actually on this page twice. If you go down 2 more lines, it's at the end of the basic sciences. So this is the only thing that's on this page twice. So once you finish it once, you can cross it off your list on both of these. That's actually what I recommend people do. I recommend people keep a copy of this page. Every time you finish a class and pass it with a C or better, just cross it off. That way, as you go across the page, by the time you get to the end, if everything's crossed off your list, you know you're ready to graduate. There's no questions about, do I still need to take one more class? What did I miss? Even so, I do recommend that you come and talk to, well, for your first semester, talk to Sharon and Viviana, and then after that, come to the academics office and talk to us so that we can help you make sure that you understand what are the most important classes for you to take next, what is your highest priority class for you, because sometimes there will be more classes than you can fit into your schedule, and we can help you to understand which one makes the most sense for you for where you are. The most complicated line on this page is the clinic line. So that's about halfway down the page. Underneath Western Medical Science, you have your clinic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if we look at these, they all have arrows going one way. You cannot take more than one level at a time. You have to finish one level. You have to pass the exam in order to move on to the next level. There is an entrance exam to get into Clinic 2, which is taken either at the end of CL1 or you can take it independently in the clinic office. Now, the next arrow between Clinic 2 and Clinic 3 is one of the more important arrows to pay attention to, because you have CNT, which is the clean needle technique. That is offered by an outside institution, the Ncc Aom. They are a third party. They take care of that class. It's not done at any of the schools. Now it's taken online, and you will need to pass that so that you understand how to use needles safely before you can get into Clinic 3, which is when you start needling patients. That's when you actually start treating. Clinic 2, you're just observing. Clinic 1, you're just learning about the rules of the clinic. And so you also see below the CNT arrow there, it says complete all basic sciences. So before you get into Clinic 3, you have to have finished all your basic sciences, all your chemistry, all your physics, all your medical terminology, everything, before you can go on to CL3. Now, there's two more things that you see there. You have community service, which is available once you're in CL3. You don't have to take it at that time. You can take it anytime after CL3. And then between CL4 and CL5, we have Comprehensive Exam 1. You will be tested 3 times on everything that you need to know about Chinese medicine and Western medicine in order to progress in the program and to get your license. The first time will be between CL4 and CL5 that's required. Basically, you need to know all the way to Acupuncture 4 and 5. You need to know Diagnosis 2, formulas. You need to have your anatomy and physiology under your belt. All of that before you can move on to Clinic 5. Now, in the big box up above, you see there's a class in the bottom right-hand corner there called Final Review. That's another time when you will have a comprehensive exam. And it's not on this map here, but there's also one more time called the Comprehensive 2 exam. Both the Comprehensive 2 exam and the Final Review exam are very similar in that they're everything that you need to know from the entire program in order to graduate and to apply for a license and get your license exam. So the CL1 is a little bit easier than the Final Review and the Comprehensive 2 exam, but all 3 of those times are basically preparing you to go through a similar situation for a license exam. You know, it's a 5-hour test, or you have maximum 5 hours to finish it, 200 questions just on the California license exam. So all of these will help prepare you for that. So by the time you graduate, you will have taken an exam similar to the license exam 3 times. So that'll help to give you confidence when it comes time to get your license. So don't worry. I know it seems very difficult at the very beginning, but once you go through the whole program and each class builds on the next and you follow the arrows, make sure you follow the arrows, then you will have a very clear understanding of what you need to know, and you'll feel very confident as an acupuncturist by the time you graduate. One other thing to see on this page is that at the very bottom, all of those classes have no prerequisites. So those are the classes that you take anytime that you want more classes. Let's say that you already have your acupuncture, your foundation, your herbs, and your Western medicine, and you still have room for 1 more class or 2 more classes. Look down there, see if any of those are being offered. Also, if you're starting to get to the point where you're just too much in your books and your head is full and you can't remember anything more and you don't want to look in your books anymore, take a class like Tai Chi or Qigong or Tui Na. That get your body moving, get some massage. Those kinds of classes will help you to get out of your head and more into your body and understand different aspects of the traditional Chinese medicine, because it's not all about needles and it's not all about herbs. We have 3 other modalities. You have diet and nutrition as well. Very interesting class. I recommend you take that one as early as you can, because once you start changing your diet and using it according to the TCM understanding, you'll start to get healthier. And this is something that you can see pretty much anybody that joins the program. By the time they finish their 3, 4, 5, or 6 years of study of Chinese medicine, their health gets better and better each year. I mean, both Sharon and Viviana can share their stories. I know from my own experience, I was very tired. I was very, very exhausted when I joined the program. And I went and got treated every week. I started taking herbs, started changing my diet, started practicing more Qigong, all these things. And by the time I graduated, I was feeling better. And by the time I finished my doctorate, I was feeling even better. So I recommend that. Part of the reason why people take Chinese medicine is most people have some problem that they want to fix. Maybe their memory's not so good. Maybe they're having a hard time sleeping. Maybe they're have pain. Any number of reasons people take Chinese medicine. Maybe they have a family member they want to help. All of these things, as you go through the program, you learn how to help yourself. You learn how to help your family. You learn how to help your friends. These are some of the great benefits of studying Chinese medicine and practicing it, is that as a healthcare practitioner, you actually get better as you go through the program, and you feel better and better each year. And ideally, if you're like me, you start to feel younger. I feel 10, 15 years younger than I did when I first started the program. So these are some of the advantages that you get, that, it's just well worth the investment of your time and your study to be able to learn this, so that you can help yourself and anyone you know. So one of the reasons why Sharon and I, and even Viviana, now that she's getting closer to Viviana, you're almost a senior student now. How much more time do you have left?
I'm still considered a first-year student.
Are you really? Oh, that's right. You're doing more part-time. But you've been studying 2 years now already, yes?
It'll be my 4th semester.
4th semester. Yeah, so you're in your 2nd year. So all 3 of us can vouch for the quality of our professors. One of the things that I love about the University of East-West Medicine is that I did a lot of research before I went to UEWM. I looked at all the schools that I could find in the United States. I explored options for even going to China, because quite honestly, I didn't want to do the 2 years of undergrad. I wanted to just get into Chinese medicine right away. So I was seeing, how could I do this? How could I go to China maybe? But in the end, after researching all these options, UEWM was the most affordable. And it turns out, going through the program, it's perhaps the most authentic education you can get in the United States. You'll see that most of the professors are either from Taiwan or China. Many of them worked for many years in hospitals in China, and before they came to the United States and started teaching here. Many of them have 20, 30, even 40 years of experience. And, on this list here that you can see just in front of us, like Professor Wong, he's been practicing for at least 40 years. Same thing with Professor Wang Guozhi and Professor Li Zhang and Xingchuan Zhai. They all have tremendous amount of experience. And, fortunately, Professor Dai teaches both the English and the Chinese program. And then you'll see Professor Wong in the clinic for both the English and Chinese. The other professors in the middle there, they're mostly in the Chinese program, but even in the English program, which is the next slide, we have lots of very qualified teachers as well. I'm really, really happy with the education I got at UEWM. I do not feel like I could have gotten a better education in the United States than at UEWM, especially with the quality of the instructors. They're very happy to share their experience, and they have tons and tons of clinical case studies that they can share with us so that we can get a better understanding of how they use Chinese medicine, how it can help patients, even in some very complicated cases. Really just excellent, excellent professors. I am so very happy with the education that I got at UEWM. And I'll even go as far as to say that I'm absolutely grateful for the education that I got at UEWM. Yeah, so you can see here, these are some of our professors in the English program. You see Xingtun Dai on there again, or Kevin Dai, Shanshan Li, she's from Taiwan. Professor Dai is from Shanghai. You have Professor Leland Winters. He's actually an MD. He teaches many of our Western medical science classes, and Professor Kibak is one of our graduates and from the doctorate program, and has been teaching with the school for many years now as well. So it's, I can't tell you how happy I am with the quality of our professors. I just really want you all to know that. Some other reasons why people might want to come to our school and is because of our student services. We do have online classes, at least through the end of this year. We will see what next year brings. Most likely we'll be going towards a hybrid, meaning that almost half of the hours in each class will be done online still, most likely. We're still working out the details, and we're still waiting for the ACOM and the California Acupuncture Board to tell us what the new rules are. We do have, we are going towards a highly online experience. And in order to do this, we have provided, all students will be provided with a UEWM email account. This is through Gmail. It's not actual, that it'll say uewm.edu as the email, but you'll use Gmail as the main interface. So that means that you get all of the backup from Google Drive. You get all of the sharing capacity through Google Drive. We also have Moodle, which is a learning management system. So that allows you to turn in your homework and take tests online. This is for all students except for the audit students. Audit students do not take tests and do not do homework. So they have no need to turn in any assignments. But if you are planning on being a regular student or even a non-degree student, then you'll get a UEWM email account. Our library is really good. We have books in Chinese, we have books in English, we have books in Korean, hundreds and hundreds of books, and all of the most important books, so that you can look and see. You know, sometimes a class might require a book and you want to see whether you want to buy it first. You can go look at the library and see how much you really want the book. Some of them will just recommend books, and you can go and look at the library. Many of those books are in the library, because some of the books are quite expensive. So if you want to decide whether you want to buy it or not, we recommend you go by the library. We'll also have an online catalog. It's getting more and more, updating that. And we do have opportunity to, you can study in the library, and we do have computers that you can use for taking some of the comprehensive exams as well, that we're working towards implementing, so that you can take your tests on the school computer if you want. We do have excellent networking opportunities through our alumni, meaning that many times our graduates, they will come to us and say, hey, my clinic is getting busier and busier, and I want to hire somebody, but I want to hire somebody from UEWM. I trust the education at UEWM, and I want to make sure that even though they don't have a lot of experience, but I know that if whatever they graduate with, that they'll be able to perform to the level that I need in my clinic. And then they'll say, will you please post this job opportunity? So there'll be many times that you can get a job straight out of school through our previous graduates. And also once you graduate, you know, and you can maintain the alumni network, you can become part of the alumni network. It'll help, in the alumni network, we'll advertise the continuing education unit so that you can see what's coming up, see which classes you want to take. You can also keep in touch with your friends, or even say, hey, you know, I'm specializing in this, but I have this patient that is really not my specialty, but I want to recommend somebody from UEWM that they can go and see. You know, who do we recommend from our school that might teach that might have this specialty? You know, maybe it's whatever it is. Maybe it's the eyes or digestion or whatever it is. They'll say, you know, I'm not super comfortable treating this, but maybe one of the people I went to school with is, or maybe one of the people that even graduated before I did is now a specialist in that. So the alumni network is a great way to keep in touch with each other and to build your network, and even to perhaps get a job once you graduate. We do also offer a discount for treatments in the clinic. Of course, you get one free treatment. Everybody gets one free treatment, so we recommend you go and get your free treatment at the UEWM clinic. Go in and say, hey, it's my first time. I want my free treatment. And then you can go in and get your treatment. I recommend that students get treated regularly, especially in your first year, that because you're not in the clinic yet, but by receiving acupuncture and taking herbs under the guidance of the supervisors in the clinic, it will show you what it feels like to be a patient. That way you'll have a better understanding when you're treating other people. It'll help you to see how much the needles hurt, how much they don't hurt. You know, maybe some areas are more sensitive than others. Maybe some people are more sensitive than others. These kinds of things really benefit from having received the treatment yourself. Also, it'll give you a clear picture. How long do the herbs take to take effect? How long should I expect it to get rid of a cold, or you know, whatever your issue is? You know, if you're taking herbs and acupuncture, and then maybe they'll prescribe some exercise. Excellent way to get to know the medicine before you're actually in the clinic. So I recommend people go and get treated as often as they want or need during their first year of studies, and even before then, you know, because like I said, you get your free treatment anytime. Go and see us today, go and see us tomorrow. We're open. Primarily right now, though, because of COVID, we're still only treating on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays as the primary days. Hopefully this semester will, with the restrictions being lifted, we'll have more and more opportunity to open up the clinic. But we also have, like I said before, we have free Wi-Fi on campus. We have free parking. And even if you're one of our exemplary students like Sharon was, when you graduate, we'll invite you to work in our clinic and continue on. So let's say that you do not have the money, or you do not want to invest in opening up your own clinic right after graduation. You could continue to work as a licensed acupuncturist in the UEWM clinic and get paid full prices, full retail prices, just like you were working in your own place, but you don't have to pay by the month. You get to pay by the patient. So it's an excellent opportunity to start working in the clinic after graduation. But of course, we only offer this to our best students. You know, so we encourage you to be one of those best, so that if you do decide that you want to save some money when you graduate and get your reputation built up, you could spend a year or two working in the clinic, and then by the time you want to open your own practice, you'll have plenty of patients that'll move with you. And that way you don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to be able to pay my rent this month? So those are some of the student services that we provide. We do offer also not only continuing education, but extended ed. Extended ed is more for the public. And so that means that if you want to take some classes before you even start the program, we do offer some classes on weekends here and there. And so there might be a cooking class or an exercise class that you want to take. We also have Tai Chi on Friday evenings that's open to the public. Lots of opportunities that you can get introduced and start participating in Chinese medicine even before you're a master's student. So many times people say, That's all good, but how much does it cost? Well, one of the things that we can honestly say at UEWM is that we consistently have a high pass rate on the board exam, and we're one of the least expensive schools, not only in the Bay Area, but even in the United States. So you get what I like to call the most bang for your buck. So for the least amount of investment, you get a very excellent education that'll prepare you for your license exam, so that most likely you will pass the license exam. Now, I will say that since COVID has happened, the pass rate hasn't been so good. I think that people have been a little bit too worried about other things and not studying enough. One of the biggest advice I can give you for making sure that you're ready for the board exam is to continually study throughout the entire program and to make sure that you're reviewing as best you can. I recommend that people start to build flashcards, little piece of paper with the question on one side and the answer on the other. If you start building those when you first start, by the time you graduate, you'll have more than 1,000 flashcards, and you won't have to create any new notes. You can just look at your flashcards, and those will be all the questions that you need in order to take the graduation exam, and those will be all the questions you need to take your license exam. So I really am a huge advocate for flashcards. This, to me, is one of the best study methods that you can have. It was something that I did not start using until very late in the program. One of the reasons I recommend you start building them in the beginning is because they take a long time to create. So if you do it little by little, it's not painful. If you do it all at the end like I did, it's very painful. So, but either way, UEWM has at around $47,000 after you buy all your books. That's your complete investment. Whereas other schools are as much as twice as that. So here's a graph showing that's a much more clear picture. You can see us in the blue, showing that we are the least expensive school for TCM in the Bay Area. And the one that's in white, or the NA, actually, the last I saw, their price was close to $90,000, although they're not publishing their information today, so it's a little bit difficult to find online. But last we saw that they were publishing it, it was like $86,000.
Yes, their per unit price is $350. So it's very expensive.
515.
That's yes, right, 515. So 350 is another school. That's AIMC. Okay.
Right, that's Berkeley.
Berkeley, yes.
Right, so ACTCM is $515 per unit, and UEWM is $249, so less than half the price of them. So if you're living in San Francisco, it might be worth the drive down to Silicon Valley to take your class. But the beauty is, for now, it's all online, so you don't even have to worry about the commute. So why UEWM? Like I said, we have dedicated and excellent, experienced professors. We have flexible hours. You can take daytime, evening, weekends, weekday evenings, all of these options for taking class. I will say, though, that I just want to make it clear, we do offer class on weekend, but there is no way that you can only take classes on the weekend. You will need to take some classes during the week, but we do offer evening classes for those of you that work full time. I had many of my fellow students when I was in the program that were full-time working for Google, Apple, all the big companies in the Bay Area. They were all tired of working so hard in engineering, and they wanted to do something that was good for their health. So they would work full-time during the day and then come to the nighttime classes. So I know it's very possible to do this and still even graduate in 3 to 4 years. Even if you take it slow. I had one friend, she worked very, very hard, and she still took her 6 years, though, because she didn't have as much energy as some other people. So it really depends on how much energy you have. But I do have fellow students that worked full-time all day, took full-time classes, graduated in around 10 semesters. So it's possible. We also have a hands-on clinical training. You need a minimum of 350 treatments or patients. 50 of those need to be first-time patients or new to you. So you need to have at least 50 patients that you work with. Some of those can be multiple treatments. And, you know, quite honestly, a lot of people worry about this. There's no reason to worry about how many treatments you're doing. If you are coming to clinic and staying for the entire shift and not going home early and not sleeping in your car or whatever it is that might take you out of the clinic, many students end up with more than 500 treatments by the time they're finished. It's not a problem to get enough patients. So please do not let this be something you worry about. But what it is saying is that you will have plenty of opportunity to get practice and treat a lot of different types of people, old people, young people, you know, men, women, children, everybody, all kinds of problems. You'll see people with all kinds of problems. That's one of the nice things about our clinic. It is an active practicing clinic, and we do get people with many different types of issues. So it's a good variety of patients for you by the time you graduate. Of course, our tuition is affordable, and we do have a historic high license exam pass rate and an excellent alumni networking, so that even after you graduate, you're supported by the school, you're supported by each other. You know, I do encourage you to make friends while you're in the program. And then once you graduate, you know, it's always nice to see how your friends are doing in their practice. And maybe they took a special class that they really like that they think you should take too. You know, there's lots of things that lots of benefit you can get from making friends while you're in the program and keeping in touch once you graduate. So like we said, you need a minimum of 2 years to get into the program with 60 semester units or 90 quarter units and a GPA of at least 2.0. We are from an accredited institution or approved foreign university. So that means that as long as you come from a well-established school, then it shouldn't be a problem. The foreign transcripts will need to be evaluated. And we'll get into that more in a minute with the other slides. So for today, many of our documents can be done online. We have an online application. There is a non-refundable application fee, but if you stay till the end of this presentation and you give us your information and apply today, then we will waive $60 of that. So if you're a resident or a citizen, then that is your entire application fee. If you're an international student, then it's over half of your application fee. If, like I was saying, the official transcripts, foreign transcripts need to be evaluated. So if you're local, it's easy to get most of the US schools are sending digital transcripts. They happen, you know, it doesn't take more than a day or two to get those to us. If you're foreign transcript, I would order those. If you haven't ordered them already, order them now. That way that you can, because it's still going to take 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks for them to get evaluated. So you need to get on top of that as soon as possible if you have an international transcript. Need your proof of residency or citizenship, identification. We also need some passport size photos. Those can be digital. We need a current resume. You can submit that through email. We need 2 letters of recommendation. The form is available online. It does not have to be somebody with the background in medicine. It can be your family members. It can be somebody that knows you from work. As long as they know you well enough to say, hey, I think this person is great, and I think they'll be great as an acupuncturist. You know, that's the kind of people you want for your recommendations. We need a 500-word statement of purpose. You know, why do you want to study Chinese medicine? What do you hope to learn? What do you hope to accomplish? What do you want to do with it once you're done? So that's online. You need to have the TOEFL score if you have international education. If it's from a non-English speaking education, then we need to make sure that your TOEFL is up, and we'll show you on the next slide more about that. If you are an international student, you need to have at least $15,000 in the bank and be able to prove it. and you need to have your signed enrollment agreement and school performance fact sheet when registration, before you register for classes. So all of that is, most of that's online. A couple of those can be done through email. And then down the bottom, I just want to make sure I read the blue part. All documents are required to be in English and submitted within 2 weeks prior to the start of the term, and or within 2 weeks of your application, with the exception of the foreign official transcript, which should be submitted no later than the end of the first semester. Official transcripts must be submitted with the original envelope in which they were sent or emailed from the education institution to our admissions office directly. Students will not be able to request federal financial aid until after all required admission documents are submitted. So for those international students, you have to have an English score of 61 total on the TOEFL. Your speaking needs to be a 20, listening a 17. If you do the IELTS, some people prefer that. It's more of a English from England type vocabulary. So some people prefer the British English over American English. So that might be the one that you would want to take. You need a 6 with a total of 6.5 for spoken and a 6 listening. So if you have already finished 2 years, 60 semester credits or 90 quarter credits of undergrad or graduate level English-based education, then you do not need to take a TOEFL. Okay, you do not need to take an English test. This is only for students that took all of their classes in another language other than English. And so now the foreign transcripts need to be evaluated for degree, course by course, and GPA by a member of NACES. That's the best one for especially, well, that's all of them are, the one below that though is the best one for Chinese transcripts, right? So either somebody that's approved by NACES or specifically the one below there is the one that's, they're very good at Chinese transcripts. So if your transcripts are in Chinese, that's your go-to person. Send it to them and they will evaluate it for you. Now you're not allowed to miss more than 20%. So you need to attend 80% of all your classes. And if you do miss stuff, then you need to make sure that it's not frequent, because this is required in order to get a grade in the class. There's only one registration form per term. So once you turn in a registration form, after that, if you want to add or drop a class, then you need to use the add drop form. Both of these are online. And chemistry. So it needs to be general chemistry, organic chemistry, and include biochemistry. So it has to have those 3 categories in order to qualify. So if your chemistry does not include organic or biochem, then you could transfer it in, but most likely it will not qualify for the total 3 units, and you'll need to take it again, but you will not have to pay for everything. You can, whatever you transfer in, you will waive those units. So most likely, let's say that you have general chem and biochem, and you still need organic chem. So you can either take it at another school, or you can take it at UEWM. If you take it at UEWM, then we'll waive 2 units, and you only have to pay for 1 unit, but you still need to take the entire class, right? So that's one of the most complicated things about the basic sciences. That's the only real complicated one. All the rest of them are pretty straightforward. You know, biology and anatomy and physiology, those all need to be human or mammalian, and they need to be introductory or general, right? So general biology or introductory biology or human biology are all good forms of biology. We're not looking for super advanced. We're not looking for microbiology. That's not what we're looking for. So that's something to keep in mind too when you're transferring in your classes. CNT, it is held by the Ncc Aom, not by UEWM. So that needs to be taken, like I said, before clinic level 3. So that it requires a practical exam. You'll actually needle yourself, and then it has a written exam as well. So All of that information is online, and you have basically about a year to prepare for that before it's absolutely needed to progress in clinic. And then we do offer one class that's EL 101. It's Tai Chi, and it was therapeutic Tai Chi and Qigong. We may offer some more others in the future, but anytime you see the letter EL before a course number, that is not part of the master's program. It is something that you're taking for yourself. That is the Friday night Tai Chi class right now. You can take it every single semester if you want, but it's not required. So you don't have to take it if you don't want to. But if you do want to learn more Tai Chi and you do want to practice more Qigong, then Friday nights, take it every semester if you want. Ongoing education, more and more practice. But that's not part of the master's program.
So let me explain the first two items
Sure.
for the foreign transcript. The first one, the foreign transcript will be evaluated by NACES. This is an organization of American Education Evaluation Agencies. So those the member of NACES who do the evaluation report are recognized by California Acupuncture Board and by Ncc Aom. So all the foreign transcripts have to select a member of NACES to do the evaluation. The second one, China Credential Verification, is the Chinese government organization who take care the Chinese transcript notarization. So they can email the notarization report to NACES member to have the transcript to be evaluated. So that's two different organizations. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Sharon. I was a little confused about that. You're obviously, you know more than I do when it comes to that part.
No problem. So for Chinese transcript, first you can let the Chinese credential verification to process your transcript and also translate it into English. Then they can send the report to NACES member, or you can send the hard copy to the evaluation member. So, but now it's more efficient by email, and also the China credential verification can send the report to our admissions office email account. We accept the notarization as an official transcript. Okay, so next. So go ahead, Clark.
Yeah, so I recommend everyone take a picture of this page. These are all the links that you need for the online application, class schedule, class registration, course transfer, international student information, catalogs, and then the contact us page is especially important because many times you're going to be like, well, who do I talk to? Well, if you go to the contact us page, you can see every department represented there, and it can even show you our personal emails and some direct phone numbers, you know, so that contact us page, anytime you need to talk to anybody on campus, go there, find out how to communicate with us, and just drop us a line, let us know, send us an email, give us a call. We're happy to answer your questions. We're happy to help you with any of your issues. And so this page also, you might want to take a picture of in case you want to review anything. We've got some videos for you to watch. You can even go, this is our UEWM page on YouTube. You can search, or on our website, you can also search by keywords.
And if you want to try class, you can go to the home page, click the try the class in English or Chinese.
So a lot of students want to know, what books should I buy? The Chinese and the English book for the acupuncture, it's the same book, but there's obviously a Chinese version and an English version. So the first two books on this list, the Zhongguo Zhen Jiu Shui, that's the Chinese version, and the Chinese Acupuncture and Moxibustion is the English version. And for those of you that are into the English version, we just shorten it to CAM, C-A-M, for Chinese Acupuncture and Moxibustion. So in the English program, we just talk about CAM a lot. So that's the same author, and you can even buy an older version if you want. I think when I took the program, it was the 3rd edition, but now they're on to the 5th edition. So the older books still have all the information, it just not as well organized. They get a little bit better and better as they have more and more revisions. The Foundations of Chinese Medicine is an English book. That's the book that is for foundations and diagnosis. So all 4 semesters and basically everything you need to know for foundations and diagnosis for the board exam is in that book. And the next book down is actually my personal favorite. It's not required. It's not required for any class. It's not required for anything, but it's probably the most useful book I know of. It has everything in it in one tiny little book. It's only about this big. It can fit in your lab coat pocket. It can fit in your backpack. It can fit in your purse. It's very light. Only problem with it, it has very small letters, and if your eyes are getting old like mine are, then it's sometimes hard to read. But it has diagnosis, has herbs, formulas, acupuncture. It has Western medicine in it, and it has pharmaceutical drugs in it. It has all kinds of information that you need for the license exam. This is what basically what it is the author, H.B. Kim, said, hey, I want to organize all the information that people need to know into one book for their license exam. So this is not only for the California acupuncture license exam, it's also for the Ncc Aom license exam. So the first two, the Chinese Acupuncture, Moxibustion, and the Foundation of Chinese Medicine are basically big versions of what's in that small mini book, right? And so it's very well organized and very, very useful book. I carried it with me, and I still carry it with me. Anytime I want to say I don't remember an herb, I just go and look up the herb real quick, right? Or I want to look and see what points they recommend. It's really wonderful. It takes Western diseases and TCM patterns, and it says, okay, these are the herbs and formulas that you're going to use for this Western disease, and these are the TCM patterns. You know, because headache in Chinese medicine, there's many, many reasons for headache. So wonderful, wonderful book. I can't recommend it enough. It's relatively affordable. The most expensive book on this list is the Foundation of Chinese Medicine. And I'm sorry if you're in the English program, it's a must-have, and it's not a cheap book. But you can buy an older version if you want. You can buy the 2nd or the 3rd edition. Now, at the very bottom, we have Herbzoo, that website. These are, well, the individual herbs they're like flashcards. And so it has these cartoon pictures of these animals doing crazy things. You know, you got lions, and you got walruses, you got ferrets, you got penguins, you got all kinds of crazy animals doing all kinds of crazy things. And the beauty of these is that once you remember the picture, the symbols inside the picture are all standing for representing specific things. So anytime you see an animal wearing a scarf, you know that it benefits the throat, right? And so it's really easy to remember a picture compared to all of these words on a page, all these black and white letters and words on a page, you know, it's not so easy sometimes. But a picture, when you remember this crazy animal doing this crazy thing, and you remember he's wearing a scarf, well, then it's easy to remember what the herb does. And then the formulas is the same, except the formulas is a big full page. So on the front, it'll show you what it does. It'll show you all the individual herbs in it. On the back, it'll show you a picture of the herbs that are in it and their general dosages, right? So the zoo cards are not required by any class either, but these are the best study aid that I know to memorize the herbs painlessly. Before I had these cards, I was studying 15 hours a week and frustrated, not doing well on my quizzes, you know, getting 50%, 30%. If I was lucky, I got 70% on a quiz. But after I got these cards, I was getting 90 and 100% on all my quizzes. All of a sudden, I was one of the smartest students in class. And it's not because I was studying more. I was actually studying less. And I went from studying 15 hours a week to only studying 10 hours a week. But I was remembering way more because the pictures, they helped me. Now, if you were like me and you learn from pictures better than words, then I highly recommend you get the zoo cards. They're not cheap, but they're well worth it. And I don't make any money off of this advertisement, neither does Sharon, but these are the books that are the most useful and the study aids that are the most useful for the program. Now, there will be other books that will be required by your teachers or even recommended. And if you're like me, you'll end up buying many more books. You'll have maybe 100 books by the time you're done with the program. But this page here is, especially for the English program, what you need. Now, one advantage of the Chinese program, and we'll show the next slide to talk about that. So Prime Holly. Prime Holly has Chinese books, English books, even some Korean books. And if you let her know that you're from UEWM, she'll give you a discount, 10%, or at least 10% less than Amazon. I mean, otherwise you can go to Amazon if you just want to have it mailed to your house. I understand that. But Prime Holly, she's just up the street from UEWM. She's like a mile and a half away. She's open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So you do need to go there during business hours. Other than that, though, great resource, and you get the advantage of the Chinese program is your books are cheaper. That's one good advantage of the Chinese program. You can get books for $10, $15, $20, whereas many of the books in English are $80, $100, $150, and even more sometimes. So that's one advantage of being in the Chinese program. And if you're looking for a resource to buy them, Prime Holly is right up the street, so you don't have to worry about being able to find them. So these are some pictures of our school and different scenarios. The top left is actually the grandson of the author of the acupuncture book. He's there representing his grandfather. Our school is actually a heritage site for Chung Acupuncture, which is the author of the textbook for pretty much the whole United States for acupuncture. The top right picture there is the treatment in one of our treatment rooms. And in the bottom left are some students inside of the herb room. I'm very happy to say that we have a complete herbal room with over 300 individual herbs. So you can make custom formulas, and you can go in and you can look at the herbs, you can smell the herbs, you can taste the herbs. Very, very beneficial to go into that room, even just for the smell. When I walk into that room, it smells so good. When I walk in that room, I feel like 10 pounds comes off of my shoulders. You know, if I had any stress when I walk in that room, it goes away. And then the bottom right is a group of students along with the professor after a Tai Chi tournament, celebrating their win. So these are some pictures of the school from the outside top left, parking lot top right. classroom, bottom left. And then my second favorite room after the herb room is the auditorium. That's the room where we hold graduation ceremonies. We have Chinese New Year celebrations. We have Tai Chi Qigong classes. Anytime we have an extra special party, we throw it in that room. Many students will come and we'll have pizza or buffet. Lots of fun in that room. That's a really fun room. And even if there's nothing going on, you can go up there and practice your Tai Chi or Qigong. Many times it's empty. So I encourage you to go and use that room as often as you want, as long as you know there's nothing else going on. Go and practice. Some more pictures. So there's two entrances to our campus. There's one in the front on Lawrence, and then there's one around back. The one in the front will take you into the lobby where the admissions office is and the academics office is. If you go around back, that's where our clinic entrance is. So if you're going there for a treatment, go around back, park around back. It'll be nice and easy to get in. That way you don't get lost trying to find the clinic. It's really easy from the back because you walk through the doors and you're in the clinic. If you go through the front, it's a little bit confusing. But usually either Sharon or Michelle or I or somebody, Viviana is in the lobby that will be able to help you find out where you're going if you're lost. Don't worry about that. And then, like I said, my favorite room in the building is the herbal medicine room just because it smells so good. And I, of course, I love herbs. Now that I studied the zoo cards, I love herbs. Before I studied the zoo cards, I was like, oh my God, I will never learn this. But after I got the zoo cards, I was like, oh, these are so easy. Well, maybe not easy. It still requires a lot of effort, but much more fun. Bottom left is the hallway where all of our treatment rooms are. We've got 9 treatment rooms for the master's program. And then we've got some more for the private treatments once you're into a specialist. And then the bottom right is the lobby. You can see that we're social distanced there for COVID. So don't worry about that. You can come and you can social distance even while you're waiting for your treatment. So, like I said, Tai Chi. We've got excellent professor with, well, he's in his 70s now, and he's still agile and strong and enthusiastic. And he knows some shortcuts so that you can learn how to learn the Tai Chi without having to remember a big, long form. You can memorize it in smaller pieces. And we'll show you a presentation from him right here. He's been doing this, well, forever. long time.
Let me share the Tai Chi Performance. Okay.
And if you look closely, you'll notice that the pictures of the young guy in this video are him back in the 80s when he was a kid, when he was in his 20s.
Tai Chi, which means the grand ultimate, represents the Chinese philosophy of the cosmic laws of nature. Tai Chi consists of yin and yang, the two opposing forces in the universe. These forces are inseparable and complementary to each other. The interaction of these two forces is referred to as the Wei, which is called Tao in Chinese and Do in Japanese. The concept of Tai Chi dates back 3,000 years as recorded in the I Ching, or Book of Changes. Since then, Tai Chi has been widely applied to many areas of life, such as medicine, politics, and martial arts. Today, the Tai Chi exercises and techniques are used for improving health, reducing stress, increasing body awareness, developing balance, and learning self-defense. As Tai Chi evolved from health-improving exercises, such as Qigong, to a martial art, many different styles developed, which is taught a variety of forms and skills. These styles include Qin, Yang, Wu, Sun, Hao, and Jian. Most people today are not able to spend much time learning the art of Tai Chi. So Dr. Wang has developed an overview so that beginners may grasp the essence of Tai Chi. Unique benefits of Dr. Wang's approach. Dr. Wang's innovative method teaches the essence of Tai Chi through fundamental movements rather than focusing on lengthy and complicated forms. The material is easy to remember because it is demonstrated in the framework of a simple short story. It introduces novice Tai Chi practitioners to Qigong, meditation, relaxation, and develops body awareness to help reduce stress. Demonstration of various practical applications facilitates learning and reinforces the purpose of each movement. Integration of theory and practice promotes greater understanding, satisfaction, and confidence. Tai Chi emphasizes common movements and principles and therefore serves as a bridge to learning different styles of martial arts.
And so like I was saying before, Friday evenings from 7 until 9, we have ongoing therapeutic Tai Chi and Qigong classes. We also from time to time offer workshops, but even for the public, for $220 for 15 classes, very affordable for the Friday evening classes. We keep this affordable so that even like once you get into your clinic and you have your patients, that maybe some of them will benefit from Tai Chi and Qigong, and you could recommend that they come to the Friday evening class. It's open to the public. And like I said, if you really want to continue to practice each semester, you could take it every semester if you really wanted. Very affordable class. And lots of opportunity to practice. So at UEWM, we have 4 online payment methods. So we have Zella. You could use the finance@uewm.edu email for that. Credit card, but we do have a convenience fee of 3% if you want to use a credit card. I recommend either Zella or paying by check, or if you want, you can go on campus and pay by cash in person. So you can take a picture of this page as well if you want to keep this for your records so that you know your different options for payment. For me, with my bank, Zella is very, very easy. And otherwise, you can mail in a check or come on campus. We'd love to see you. You know, with COVID, we haven't seen enough of our students. We do have clinic, but our classes are all online, so we don't get to see nearly as many of our students as we used to. Especially in your first semester or 2 before you're in clinic, then most everything's been online lately. So this is our refund policy. If you can look at it. It's also in our catalog. So if you want a more detail, you can always look in our catalog for this information. But basically, as long as it's on the first day of class or before, then you get 100% refund, and then it goes down from there. And then no refund after 60% of instruction is completed.
So the student's speaker is here.
Who's our student this time?
Hello.
Hey,
So
welcome.
please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm going to get started. Hello everyone. My name is Wong, and I'm the junior student of Uewm. And today I want to share with you my experience of learning Chinese medicine. So I immigrated to United States after graduating from university in 2018. When I first arrived in United States, I don't have a major career plan. So I decided to continue to learn some new skills. I concerned many options and finally decided to study Chinese medicine under recommendation of my family. And the influence of my mother, I have learned some traditional Chinese culture, which I think is very beneficial. Traditional Chinese medicine is the treasure of Chinese traditional culture. So learning Chinese medicine can not only help oneself and also his family members, and it also can help others. It's a long-time career, so this is the reason why I chose to study learning Chinese medicine. After coming to our school, under the leadership of the teacher, I have a preliminary understanding of Chinese medicine. Each teacher are very experienced and teach us various knowledge of Chinese medicine, which has benefited me a lot. Although learning Chinese medicine is not an easy task, I think learning Chinese medicine is a happy thing. First, I can learn a lot from Chinese medicine. Those are wisdom left to us by Asians. Secondly, Chinese medicine can help and treat patients with very good results. And the third one, Chinese medicine can also help me maintain healthy. Those are the biggest motivation for me to learn Chinese medicine. So in general, traditional Chinese medicine is not only a profession, but also a way to improve my mind and my body. Traditional Chinese medicine belongs to traditional Chinese culture. That there is a great wisdom in traditional Chinese medicine, which can bring us health and happiness. Traditional Chinese medicine makes people calm and feel comfortable, but never get lost. This is why I'm very confident about the prospects of Chinese medicine. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as promised at the beginning of this presentation, if you stuck through till now, you qualify for a $60 discount on or waiver on your application fee. So you can apply today at the website that you see there, and make sure you give us your official name and where you found our school or how you found our school. And you can type this into the chat to UEWM admissions. If you do that today, then we will waive the $60, and I believe we're going to stop recording now so that we can open it up to any live questions.